News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. To finish off with that Kamala soundbite, I want to play it again in hour number 2 of the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. And here it is. One more time, I'll play this where she says young people are stupid, are idiots.
What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid. That is why we put them in dormitories, and they have a resident assistant. They make really bad decisions.
Well, I mean, my son is 21, and he will be back, as I mentioned, from Japan as a dual credit. You know, whatever you call it, dual. Wait, no, he studied in Japan on student exchange, or whatever you want to call it, foreign study abroad program with one of our local universities here in North Texas. And there's the N5 is a beginner level for Japanese. The N1 is perfect. Like, you know, born and raised, you're an adult and you speak, you know, perfect Japanese. He went from a 5 to a 4 to a 3, which is right in the middle, and the next one he'll be a 2, and I mean that's incredible. Japanese, according to my friend who is Chinese American, she said that the people don't realize how many. You know, in the Asian languages they have intonations. And intonation means the same word or same sound, it means different things. And I didn't know that. And in Cantonese or Chinese, whatever I know there's a couple, like 2 languages, I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert in China. I don't know very little overall. But there's 11 different intonations for Chinese. And Japanese is the second hardest language, according to my friend, in the world, and she's a world traveler. Because there's 9 intonations. There was a lady on the elevator with us at church with all of us talking, and she's like, no, my daughter learned Thai, and that's the hardest. And she's like, no, she knew exactly. She's like, there's 5 intonations in Thai. There's 9 in Japanese and 11 in Cantonese. And to learn Japanese, you have to know kanji, and there's Chinese language inside of the Japanese language, and this is freaking wild. Okay. Anyways, for her to call our kids idiots, look, there's a lot of idiots that are older, younger, middle-aged, etc. But I have hope knowing my daughter and my son. And I'm sure you do, and your kids, and knowing your children's friends. Most of them you probably think are not idiots. So it's offensive, and it's just one of the many things this woman has said that's going to really hurt her if it's delivered the right way in the campaign. Now on to Trump's assassination attempt. We had Robert Ray, for no reason, to share that suddenly it was a bullet fragment maybe that hit President Trump, not a bullet. This is inexplicable to everybody today who analyzed this. Like, why would he say that? Nobody was inferring that to him except for like MSNBC News. There's like some radical leftists that say things that are totally like, I mean, we all know it's constantly not true, but this is beyond the pale.
With respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear.
Today, the FBI released a statement clarifying that he was hit by a bullet in the ear. They said whether it was the full, bullet or what do you call it? I'm just sharing my interpretation of what they said. But the bullet either went through his ear, as he and Dr. Ronnie Jackson have said, who examined him. Dr. Ronnie Jackson was the physician to former President Bush, former President Hussein Obama, and President Trump. And he examined and treated Trump's ear, and he said that it absolutely was a bullet hitting the ear. And here he said that today on Fox News.
This is absolutely ridiculous that he would make a comment like this. It was absolutely a bullet. I examined it. There was a track of a bullet. It was scooped out in the just as it would be in the track of a bullet. It had the telltale other damage that is associated with it. And if he's going to come make statements like that, he better have some evidence of what he's talking about. Yeah. There was no fractured glass on the teleprompters or anything else. So if it wasn't a bullet, what was it, and where did it come from? Okay,
so here's the other thing too. Dr. Ronnie Jackson said something else. I didn't know this, but he was a combat surgeon, and in our wars, I think in Afghanistan, I think in Iraq. Anyway, he was a combat surgeon, so he knows. He said, "I've seen a lot of bullet wounds and fragment wounds." That was clearly a bullet wound, and the tissue around where the bullet went through is clearly the mark of that. And also, the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania hospital that treated him in emergency listed it as a bullet wound. I mean, this is disgusting for our nation's FBI director to say this in a public congressional hearing that made the news. This guy is sick. He needs to be fired right away. Trump said, he attacked him directly and said, rightfully so, in a way that was good. Like, it wasn't like nasty Trump, but it was like, so today he said it was an FBI apology. It was not an apology. It was just saying that it was a bullet fragment. They had to release this 3-sentence statement or something today because of what he said. Christopher Wray is a leftist, Trump-hating police operative or government operative for the police state of the Biden administration, and soon to be the Kamala administration if she wins. Trump today saying he is going back to Butler to give a big and beautiful rally honoring Corey Comparatore, the firefighter that was killed. How much you want to bet his family's coming? Because they will have had 2 weeks to, his wife, his children, to be, and they'll be in that crowd. He'll bring them up there, and it's going to be beautiful. I'm sure he'll tear up. If not, he'll be very, very emotional. So, here, look. I'm saying there was one guy that was released, Mr. Dutch, who was struck and almost killed, David Dutch. James Copenhaver is still being treated in the hospital. Anyways, I've got some unbelievable new things that came out about the assassination, the terrorist who tried to kill President Trump and was so shockingly close to killing him. His social media posts revealed, guess what? He is a Biden supporter! Over and over and over a period of whatever, months and years, he was saying things supporting Biden over and over and over again, 9 different posts. From the Daily Mail, they culled this. I'm going to share it with you in a moment, but here's my questions for you. How likely is it that Trump was not hit by a bullet? How likely do you think it was that he was not hit by a bullet on his ear? And why do you think the left and the FBI director, Chris Wray, are doing this, at least some in the left? Why do you think some in the left and the FBI director, Chris Wray, are doing this? Literally making you think he didn't even get hit, which is insane. And number 3, do you trust? How much do you trust, I should say, our FBI and our Secret Service to do their jobs for all political candidates, Republicans, President Trump, and us? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. I do not trust in any way, shape, or form our FBI. I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. I think about 60% of everybody in the FBI, the hierarchy, the top of the FBI, along with their rank and file, I think 60% of them hate Trump, hate Republicans, unless the Republicans publicly hate Trump, and they seek to destroy us and put us in jail and literally destroy our chances of ever winning a national election, and if possible, other local elections for federal positions. They hunt us in every way, shape, or form, whether you're a Catholic, whether you're a anti-abortion person, whether you trespass at the January 6th rally. They want to put you in jail for 5 years for trespassing and other things. So we're going to get into that next. I really want to hear from you. I'm going to read those coming up next. We have 3 lines open, by the way. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 is our number. But next, I'm also going to read to you the 9 posts that the terrorists made on social media. Most of them, the majority of them, were all supporting Joe Biden in his many positions over the years. He hated Trump. That's why he tried to kill him. Unequivocal now. We got the stuff. 800-288-WBAP. That's next on the Chris Crock Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Did you see the FBI today apologize? They said, well, it might have been a bullet, but it might have been glass. So really, where did the glass come from? Or it might have been shrapnel. Where did the shrapnel come from? No, they then said it was a bullet. They just try and do it. It just never ends with these people. They raid Mar-a-Lago. They do things so bad, so bad. Our country is so sick. But they apologize. We accept their apology.
That was very good. That was very good, the way he did that. That way he didn't attack them more. He said the truth. He was lamenting while also exposing the truth, and then he said he accepted their apology, which is very, very, very good. Very, very good. I want to ask you a few questions on this. How likely is it that Trump was not hit like a bullet on the ear, in your opinion? And why do you think the left and FBI Director Chris Wray are doing this? Playing this game. Some on MSNBC, others on the left have claimed that he was never hit by a bullet. It was glass. That's truly unbelievably disgusting. It is as vile as it gets. And do you trust our FBI and Secret Service to do their jobs? How much do you trust them for all political candidates, Trump, Republicans, and all Americans like you and me? I don't at all. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. 3 lines open. Chime in right now. I will read you the several posts of social media, 9 of them, almost all of which support President Biden for years in his policies. So from the assassin, the terrorist that tried to kill Trump that was popped and dropped immediately thereafter. All right, let's go to April in Trenton. April, you're on WBAP.
I am.
Yes, you are. I think so. Let me check. Yes.
Yes. Hello?
Yeah, is that it?
No.
Okay.
No. I know for a fact Trump was hit with a bullet. I was watching it live on Newsmax, and as soon as it happened, when they brought him up, there was a picture of him with a perfectly round bullet entry hole.
Yes.
I mean, and scrap metal or glass will not do that. There was no jagged edges. This was a perfectly round entry hole. So I know for a fact that it was he was shot with a bullet. And as far as trusting any parts of our government today, no, I have no trust in them, and especially Chris Wray. Yeah,
I have absolutely no trust whatsoever in our FBI. I have absolutely no trust in our Secret Service. That was the other part of the question I wanted to see with you, because how much do you trust the Secret Service? I put that in there. How much do you trust the Secret Service and the FBI to do their jobs? I think the Secret Service is just as fallen and just as leftist, trying to destroy Trump and his supporters as they are. What do you think?
It's all of them. It's not just them. It's everybody. It's the upper military and everybody, because they know that he's coming for them. And he didn't know going into office the first time who his enemies
he knows now.
Were, but he knows now.
Amen.
And that's why they're trying to take him down.
Great call, April.
They're trying to take him down.
Thank you. Look forward to your next one. All right, Oliver in Fort Worth. Oliver, welcome to WBAP.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The reason that they made that statement is because there's a lot of people are gullible and will buy anything you say FBI, they'll believe it, or your government. You have people who are just that simple and stupid, and a lot of them are well educated, but they don't think things out, and that's the reason they're pushing that narrative. If they can get those people to vote for Biden, then they can take it. But people that think for themselves, and they're worried, but people are seeing this, and because of the assassination, a lot of people are beginning to take a second look that have normally been buying in it. But that's the reason they're continuing to try to push that.
I agree. And I appreciate your call, Oliver.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yes, sir. You too. Abby in Garland. Abby, welcome to WBAP. What do you got? Hi.
Well, you know what? It's funny you brought this up. I don't think I trust the Secret Service, but at least the spotlight's on them now, wouldn't you say? So they have to protect the President Trump.
We also found out yesterday, I shared this with you, with our listeners yesterday. I don't know if you caught it, but they repeatedly denied requests from the local authorities to provide drones. And they didn't bring their own drones, which they always do, normally for presidents. And they also didn't bring any of the bomb and or whatever gunpowder or gun-sniffing dogs at all. None of them.
Right. I'm shocked he was denied extra help also.
Yes, he was denied repeatedly, he said, in the weeks lining up to that. He said over and over again he asked for more security, and they repeatedly said no. And now he can barely do any outdoor rallies, which is a disgusting. What are we? Is this? Are we Somalia, like where the Houthis are?
I'm shocked, Chris, and I'm worried. I mean, they'll stop at nothing. I mean,
I think the president of Uganda gets better protection than President Trump does. These people are sick. They're wicked. I don't trust them, and they hate us.
We're finding out. And MSNBC, I mean, we don't even need to say that part. We know about them. But listen, the thing is, remember what they did to Catholics. A one-page memo from the FBI office saying that go into these Catholic church that are speaking in Latin, the ones that are more conservative, like the ones that Mel Gibson and what's his name from Pennsylvania, a former senator from Pennsylvania who ran for president. I can't remember his name, but he's one of those types of Catholics too. Go into their places, go undercover, and look for the terrorists because they're there, the people that support that and practice that kind of Catholicism, and doing raids on people's houses at gunpoint. Parents of 9 children homeschooled that were protesting an abortion clinic by praying there, and then when one of the protesters got in the face of his son, he was pushing him around, and so he stood in the between him and pushed him back, and then he got arrested. There's a grandma that was in front of an abortion clinic that's been set to jail for I think like 5 years. Look, anybody in January 6th that did any physical damage or vandalism or broken any offices should go to jail. I don't have a problem with that, for a year or two, whatever. But anybody that was trespassing that did nothing violent in any way, shape, or form and no damage should have been ticketed for trespassing and been told by a judge, you will go to jail up to 5 years if you have any issues in the next 5 years on any federal property, or 10 years. Ever again, or whatever. I don't care. But that was locking up all these grandmas, everything is sick. Okay, the social media posts. Here's some of his posts. I'll share the rest in a moment. Don't you think also that Biden would lose in a landslide? Yeah, I would not be very confident in your election predictions. Here's another one. First of all, Biden, this is a different day in February 2021. Biden executive orders don't incentivize human trafficking as human traffickers. They're not interested in citizenship. Likewise, the majority of illegals are not criminals. Or in fact, some studies show, as the one link below, lower crime rates for illegals. It is also unclear, and he doesn't use the word illegal. It is also unclear if the extensive path to citizenship is in fact effective at routing of potential bad actors, hence why there is a review of that system. It goes on, and I'll share more coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. Your call as well. Johnny in Fort Worth, you're next out of the box, plus your call at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. How likely that Trump, in your opinion, was not hit by a bullet on his ear, as the left and some on the left and our FBI director have said? Why do you think the left and FBI director Chris Wray are doing this? And how much do you trust our FBI and Secret Service to do their jobs to protect Trump, political candidates from both sides, and all Americans? That's next. 800-288-WBAP. Chris Crock Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. 3 lines open. Chime in right now. 800-288-WBAP. How likely is it that Trump was not hit by a bullet on his ear? And why do you think the left and FBI Director Chris Wray are doing this, trying to make it seem like he was not hit by a bullet? This is disgusting.
And how much do you trust our FBI and our Secret Service to do their jobs for all political candidates like Trump, Republicans, and all Americans like you and me? I do not trust either of them because of their own actions. Hunting us down, whether we be parents who don't want the LGBTQIA plus agenda overtaking our children, when parents are upset that their daughter has been sexually assaulted by a guy in a dress in the Virginia school district, and then the superintendent covered it up, lied, and then sent him to another high school where he sexually assaulted another girl in a dress. He was in a dress. And he got charged because he covered up the whole thing instead of reporting to the police like he's supposed to. The dad was arrested. That's the threat. That's the threat. Your daughter will be raped by a trans guy, and if you say anything, you're the terrorist. You're the threat, according to our FBI. So you know the routine, and nobody that I've talked to, nobody I've talked to personally, and there might be somebody that calls in tonight, that nobody I've talked to believes that Trump gets the same protection that Biden would when he's done with his term here in 6 months if he makes it. So I think they're just as bad. I think, here's my speculation, 60% of everybody in the Secret Service and FBI, upper echelon and rank and file, despise Trump, and those of us who support him and are conservatives. And the only reason why is their actions, their own actions, and their own words and sayings and everything. Most importantly, their actions, not their words, but their actions, most importantly. The attempted assassinator, the terrorist, I've got 4 more social media posts that he made that were anti-Trump and pro-Biden. Now you know why he wanted to kill Trump. Well, let's go to your call first. Let's go to Joe in Grapevine. Joe, hello, WBAP.
Hey, Chris.
Hey.
I first want to make a comment which you were talking about, other than what I'd called about, which is important. I feel the same way you do. I do not trust the upper echelon of the FBI or the Secret Service, as we have seen with Miss Kim Cheadle, whatever.
How about the rank and file, though? I don't trust them either. 60% of them. I literally, it's hard to find somebody that would agree with us or at least would respect us and treat us just as well as they would if we were Biden voters, I think.
Well, the blonde-headed lady that was shielding him is a little bit shorter.
Yeah, the midget, compared to him, she's a midget. There were 3 midgets, one of whom did not holster a weapon, one of whom repeatedly could not reholster a weapon, another one who kept saying, what are we doing, what are we doing, one who tried to protect him and meant well, but she's a midget compared to him, leaving his entire upper chest and his head vulnerable to finish the job and kill the man. Yes.
Right. I know Donald Trump Jr. talked highly of her. It was the blonde-headed lady. I don't know if she was a Secret Service agent. They have worked with her, and they felt very confident in that her main goal was to protect the president. But anyway,
I don't dispute anything they would say, but she's not capable of doing it though. You can have the most rabidly pro-Trump because they're in there. Obviously, that's why I say about 40% is my guesstimation of people who are at least neutral or on our side. One of the two, so we can trust them. But I don't trust 60% of them, which means I can't trust them.
I agree with you.
Okay, and then he
knows things.
But she has no business, even as awesome as she is, no business protecting him. If she wants to protect everything but him, that's fine. But since she's on his duty, she can't do anything. And I would assume, I'm going to guess here, that anybody that is Secret Service that is on the facility of Mar-a-Lago or Bedminster, wherever he is, has to be the same height. Because, can you imagine if 3 or 4 of them get knocked out and the one that helps them is a tiny one? We'll take anything we can get. He would too. But, anyways, go ahead.
Well, I wonder if Barron Trump, why he didn't come to the when his dad accepted the nomination of being president, running for president.
I think he had something with college. I don't know.
He's also over 7 feet tall.
Yes. Maybe, because it was afterwards. You could be right, because he loves that boy, a lot, as he does all of his kids.
It'd be hard to find somebody.
As we all do. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this came from a Secret Service agent today, and it was from inside information.
To you?
He had, pardon?
To you?
Well, I had listened to him today.
Okay, go ahead. Where?
Can I say his name?
Whatever. Where did you hear him in the media?
He's on the radio. He's
Okay.
on the station.
Okay.
Dan
Okay.
Bongino.
Sure. Of course, you can say his name. He's on our station. Yeah. I mean, if he wouldn't say my name, if he was referring to something with me, I would be outraged as a coworker. Go ahead.
He he said it today. This inside information. He was pleading with the senators to find out and ask this question. And if it is true, it is it's dynamite. I
Go
mean,
ahead.
what he said and was told, that if his Trump's campaigns or whatever, his meetings that he had, that whether it be an auditorium outside, inside, was not within driving distance from Washington D.C., he did not get a Secret Service sniper team. They had to be local. That is a fact, and if that is true, that is explosive.
So again, if you can't drive from D.C. to cover it as a sniper, and if you're not within driving distance, you are not going to be going to cover the president as a sniper. That's what he heard.
That's exactly
I wouldn't be surprised in any way, shape, or form. I'm going to tell you why. Because they had 2 snipers instead of 4.
Right.
The other 2 were local, but they were, instead of 4 Secret Service, they had 2 local. But it was a complete unmitigated disaster. Thanks for your great call, Joe. Johnny, Fort Worth. Thanks for listening to WBAP.
Hey, man, enjoy your show.
Thank you.
First time I've called you.
Hold on a second then. We have a little something for all of our first-time callers that you get. Welcome to the show.
All right. I'll give you a little background. 15-year former retired network TV producer. And I can tell you.
Wait, say that again. You're a retired network TV producer.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Yep. What outfit were you with?
I would rather not say the network because I'm kind of well known in DFW.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Enough.
I'm honored that you're listening, sir.
Always. But anyway, I will tell you, this is part of the playbook 101. Downplay, downplay, downplay. Because studies will show that Joe Sixpack looks at the Yahoo, headlines. Joe Sixpack looks at the MSNBC and doesn't go beyond that because they're more interested in finding out how to make hot dogs and sauerkraut on the reels on Facebook than they are news. And so they will sit there and listen and to what the headlines about what's going on, and then they'll make their mind up, and that's it. And so I'm telling you that this was probably, an odd deal. I believe that Trump was hit, and if it had been, President Biden, we would be hearing about this nonstop
for months.
24/7.
Yeah.
There would be multiple, interviews on TV with panels with every.
They threw Joe, for weeks, if not months. They threw Joe out and put Kamala in to destroy his thunder and his momentum from the Republican National Convention, which was the best one possibly ever, according to Van Jones and other liberal people, and people who don't like Trump, like Britt Hume, who's been covering this kind of stuff for 50 years probably. And you too probably. It was an amazing one. And then after the assassination attempt where he defiantly stood up and pumped his fist with blood going down his face, I mean, you cannot ever make this stuff up. Even the leftist billionaire Democrat, what's his name, from Facebook.
Right.
Yeah, he said that it was badass, in his words, not mine. Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you stories that would make your blood curl about how, stories that are good for the USA are killed on a daily basis because of political beliefs.
Yeah, here's the thing. Since you were at the network level, here's the thing. I interned at the network level in '95, which folks can laugh at that, but I was an intern at Dateline NBC, and I mean when I was introduced, I kept telling people I went to Western Illinois in New York City. That was at 30 Rock there with the Dateline, and people kept introducing me as Wesleyan because they don't even know what the heck Western Illinois is. They don't know where that is. Mary Madeline went there from Madeline and Carville, the Bush campaign manager. So it's a typical state school, but nobody knows where I'm from or anything, and they literally even scoff at Chicago, where I'm from. I was like,
There's 8 million people there. Do you not, like, they didn't care. These people go to schools that most of us cannot even dream of affording for our kids or for our own kids, cannot afford, and they are at such an elite level, and we are shunned. The other thing I was going to say is all these interns that got these jobs are the people that go up into these jobs a lot of the times, work their way up and
correct.
stuff. Yes.
That's right.
That you get in at the network as a peon and you work your way up. Okay.
Yep.
They're all East Coasters going to schools that I didn't even know. I never heard of them in my life before when I was 21, 22, 23 going to this internship in that area. And I literally had no idea there was a college named Brown, and it was an elite institution, like extremely expensive, elitist, leftist hub for women college. I didn't know about that college. I didn't know it existed. People like that, that's where they went. They went to these high elite places that I didn't even know existed, or if I had, I'd be like, holy cow, yeah.
Yep.
And they're raised in wealthy, liberal, and upper class and higher than upper class liberal places in suburban New York City, or all these places, or they're the kids of network people. I met, and he was very nice, Tim Russert's son Luke, who I guess is still feted in the media, and I don't think he likes us at all. But I mean, we were both punk kids back then, being runners. But I worked with the youngins, and I worked with them also. That was after I was at NBC. I then went to NBC again when I got for the Democrat convention. I worked for like 2 months, working like a dog as a peon, working with these guys, and all of them were super privileged. That's who gets up in there, and they don't relate to me. They don't like me, and that was before I was necessarily political at all. I was a young guy and just a punk, and these other ones are smoking weed, listening to Dave Matthews, and I'm like, I don't relate to these people. I hate Dave Matthews. I hated him then, and they're like these people that they're not people like us here, and they're not people like me, a blue collar, white collarish guy from Chicago that's in the suburbs that doesn't live that life. Yeah, and they don't. They think I'm wrong. They think I'm a knuckle dragger, Bible thumping. Anyways, go ahead. You can describe it more, and then I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just telling you. Back in the day, you had to be a jack of all trades to get hired by the network, and it was very, very tough. And after about 25 years in the business, we noticed that people would call up, and we'd look them up on LinkedIn or Facebook, and they're just like right out of college. We're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
And they would call up, Chris, and they would say, hey, there was a train derailment down in Harlingen. Can you guys send a crew from Dallas down there? We're like, really? Do you realize how far away that is? And so I'm going to wrap things up because I used to do radio, and I know we got a tight time, but I'm just going to tell you, we had a great story with former President Bush. We went up to the Paladero Canyon, which is a Grand Canyon.
Yes, I know what that is. I've been there. It's beautiful.
And we had wounded vets following him on his 10-speed. We pitched it, and our boss in New York for the CBS Morning Show. Well, I just gave it away.
That's okay.
Anyway, we pitched it, and he said next, and I had the audacity, Chris, to ask why, and he said, well, because we don't want to see George W. F. Bush with his ass in the air on a 10-speed as I'm eating my cereal. Next story.
And that's in the 90s.
That is true. That's a true story.
Right. So
and that's what we're dealing with.
That's exactly right. And that's who's there. And they don't relate to me. They don't like me. Most of the women don't want to date me when I was younger. And I was hitting on them. They're like, whatever, dude. You're not going to New York University or, whatever. What was some of the other ones? What's the one in Princeton? That kind of stuff. I was like, there's nothing there. I got nothing. I'm not going to Northwestern University, Medill School of Journalism, which you're incredibly familiar with. Anyway, so yeah, it's a level that I'm not familiar with. Downplay.
That's what they're trying to do. And
I was actually reminiscing with my friend today, who's a professional TV guy and does extremely high-end commercials and such. And I was reminiscing with him today. He's one of my best friends. He was over, and I was saying that I was talking about that. I can't remember exactly what I was going to say. Oh, yeah. We did, after I worked for NBC, which was after my internship with them, I called a few people that I was a runner with NBC that I met, and they were like journalism students, but they were like Northwestern, and was this other one, and these people are like super elites. They were the reporters. I made a pilot with a buddy of mine at the time who was a Jenny Jones website producer, or he did the website for him. Anyways, these guys guys were that way. They were like, super elitist, super this and that. I kind of had to kiss their butts to do the reporting for the pilot. I put together like a news magazine show. I'd enter a Dateline song. Like, I'm recreating a local Dateline for young people in Chicago. It was we had the tape. We were telling them about that. But the point is, same thing. Nice people, but they want to be treated like prima donnas, and they're going to come out of college. They're going to work in a small to medium market. They're going to do like 2 years here, 2 years there, and they're going to go to a major market and network soon. Yeah, it's just,
And here's the deal, Chris. The sad thing is, back in the day, journalism used to be a profession where you got in like a doctor or a lawyer. These people that get to the network now by being promoted as an intern, they just are there for 2 years and they go to PR. It's just a job to them. And I'm telling you, as you know, journalism is more than just a job, and they have made it where it's not respectable anymore.
Right?
That's very, very
sad. It's to get Democrats elected and destroy Republicans. Great call, Johnny. Yep. I'm going to put you on hold to see if you want to share your off-air info with me to stay in touch, if that's okay with you. All right, I'll put you on hold. Thanks. All right, I got the post that the terrorists who tried to kill Trump, the assassin, more posts. They're all pro-Biden and negative on Trump, about 8 of them that were discovered. I'll share that with you next. Chris Kroc Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3, asking how likely is it that Trump was not hit by a bullet on his ear, and to you, and why do you think the left and FBI Director Chris Wray are doing this, pretending like maybe it wasn't a bullet? And do you trust our FBI and Secret Service to do their job for all of us, and political candidates and conservatives and Trump? I don't. Next. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset, y'all. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Here's the attempted assassinator who is dead, thankfully, of Trump. In his social media posts, I've read some of them. Here are the rest of them. They're all pro-Biden and anti-Trump. Actually, the executive order allows an easier path to U.S. citizenship, therefore no longer making them illegals and allowing children to join their already legalized immigrant parents in the U.S. There he was being against Trump and for Biden. Another one, the reason all deaths are down is because you're stuck in a house. He was supporting the COVID restrictions. Another one, that's funny. He's attacking Prison Planet, which is I think Alex Jones one. That's funny because the first order mandates reuniting families that separate at the border. Second and third orders a review of Trump's immigration policies and other previous policies. However, this order doesn't actually open borders or reduce the authority of the border patrol anything. It would substantially reduce border patrol effectiveness. I'm sorry, but this guy is talking out of his A word. Another one, I'm sorry, explain to me how Trump was ever concerned with what the left wanted, or anybody in the GOP for that matter. That's some of the writings of somebody who wanted to kill and tried to kill President Trump, the most successful attempted assassin since Ronald Reagan 40 years ago. Next, we have some reports. Some Republicans are expressing buyer's remorse over J.D. Vance, and guess what? Who's looking the top? Which senator is looking top for Kamala's VP pick? Cackling Kamala. Next.